Hello, hope you're having a good Friday so far. Again, another Friday, another week, another month almost. Anyway, let's enjoy each day, make the most of it. I don't know if you're back to work yet. Who mentioned that? But regardless, let each day, work or no work, home or office or wherever you go, have personal time and inner time. We might term that under practice, etc. And if you've managed to get into that routine over the last few weeks, few months, then don't lose it. Keep it up. It's highly valuable, and it'll change how you use the rest of the time, rest of the day. See, as opposed to, oh, I don't have time, I have to go out now. Think, no, I make time for this, and it actually affects how you are literally functioning inside, and how that rolls off throughout the rest of the day. So with that in mind, have a good seat. Even me right now, I'm just sitting in a simple posture. Okay. Tune into the breathing. Get into an exhale now at your nose. Good. Then inhale back in your nose. Exhale out. See now if you can hold the pelvic floor, lower abdomen, inhale through your nose. Start the exhale out. Lower abdomen pulling back. Now, end of that, just close your nose, thumb and ring finger, heart up, tilt your chin. Lift your head, take a big inhale. And again, nice, good exhale. I'm keeping a mental count on it. You just flow with it. Towards the end of that exhale, hold the pelvic floor, close the nose, heart up, tilt the chin. Head up, big inhale. Through the nose, even with sound in the throat if you like. And smooth exhale. Again, close, heart up, tilt. Head up, take a nice big inhale. Let it turn around into a good long exhale. You can kind of see we're working on a try ratio. I've made the breaths longer, and the retention part is mainly on after the exhale, see? Pause, hold the base, close your nose, heart up, tilt. Lift your head, inhale. Pausing, you turn around, nice exhale now. I've been making the retentions progressively longer by 2 seconds each time. We're going to do 2 more. Empty, hold the base, close, heart up, tilt. Good, head up, inhale. 1 more of these. Pause. Now let it turn around, exhale. Good. Into our longest hold out. Pause, close, heart up, tilt. Good. That's 20 seconds. Head up. Take an inhale. Pause. Stay with the pause. Slowly exhale. Check in on your upper abdomen. Is it free? Ah. Continue the exhale. Use more your lower abdomen. Then relax everything and just have a little sip of breath in. Now if your eyes aren't closed already, maybe you can let them go now or at least cast down. Either have your hands cupped in at the center of the body or they can rest on the knees, palm down or palm up, thumb and ring finger touch. As long as the shoulders can relax, arms are free, heart stays open. Ah. Ah. In your mouth. Now, observe the breath that's reduced to minimal level. So as I mentioned many times in these sessions, you are, as opposed to becoming even, you are the observer who can see the body breathing without getting involved, without interfering. Now, if you were to observe that the breath is very irregular, off, shallow, triggers anxiety, then you would step in to help it to correct. And the previous breathing we did, in many ways, is an attempt in that direction. To remove degree of pressure, to stabilize the breath, to impact almost the ratio of the gases, hence you were holding the breath out. So now hopefully after you've did a little bit of care and work, now you can observe a natural, what I hope is more harmonized breath. This is something you can do in your path to be centered. So now as you sit here, centered. Tune more into the space between inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale. So now we have a good supportive physiology. Ideally, the way you're sitting is a good supportive physical anatomy. And with the breath as a mirror of that physiology, smooth. It allows the mind, but is also even a mirror of the mind, psychologically, to be calm. Now in that state we go into the heart. And open up your heart to all and anyone that touches your life. Appreciate them, value them, let the words of gratitude, thanks come out of there to them. Aim to have gratitude as a personal inner reflection every day. Every day is a gift. Every morning you wake up, the opportunities, even the difficulties. And the people in and around your life. Then staying in the heart, we move into the area of forgiveness. First part is a little bit easier to grasp, taps into your level of empathy. So if you can, whether it's an actual person or imagined person that comes to mind, and then they're hurt physically, emotionally, or a combination, they're hurt. And you feel they're hurt, by looking at them and aiming to understand, and then empathically feeling, wow, what this person has gone through. And even if it's just an imaginary figure, it serves the purpose. For you to feel the hurt of another, from there, this level of understanding, so that it's easier to say, anyone I've hurt, any time, any place, anywhere, in any way, I understand what the other person has felt like. And I'm sorry, I mean it. Because I now understand it, and I'm not just saying the word sorry, because I understand it, feel it, it's part of me, I will not repeat, because I mean it. So for those, as I've been blind, ignorant, misunderstanding in the past, I'm sorry, 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 forgive me. So the simple teaching here is you need to feel it. Can you? Now, it works for sure with somebody that comes to mind that you know there's something to work out. But even no one comes to mind right now. Imaginary, to build up the feeling of empathy, to connect through your heart, has a huge impact, especially when you do it daily, because there's so much we've forgotten or we're unaware of. So you go deep into the heart level, which is essential. to do all those other practices, breath, body, without this, they become ineffective. You need this part. So then the other aspect of forgiveness is trickier. It's where many of the questions come. But again, it employs compassion. So empathy and compassion are slightly different. Empathy, you can feel another. And sometimes that overwhelms people, and you hear of these empathic crises and so on, which is why we develop ourselves further. We practice, so we become stronger through our system. So empathy is there, but I have great understanding. And so compassion has that level of feeling, understanding, but it has the capacity to care, help, see, without sinking, getting lost in that emotion, drama, and so on. So now somebody has done something to you. Uh-oh. Probably somebody you know well. Uh-oh. Just the thought of it triggers you a bit. Uh-oh. Whenever I go there, my mind gets a little blurry. I get upset by them. Maybe I shouldn't go there. So when will this be resolved? There's a saying, time heals all, but time is only one factor here. Time, coupled with introspection, coupled with understanding, that degree of maturity, and then the final part of the equation, the replacement of anger, resentment with compassion. If you try to start just with that, it's like, as many have even emailed me about it, they have a hard time putting compassion there. So, yeah, step back. Okay. First of all, you have to look at yourself, into your own heart. Can anybody really hurt me? And if you're feeling okay at the moment in an abstract sense, you don't go very far with this. Because I'm okay. So I need to go deeper in, and especially when something is left over from the past, which could be this morning, or it could be from 5 to 10 years ago, or longer. So we carry a lot of unprocessed interactions and misunderstandings. So we're not going to take each one apart. First we're going to understand ourselves, who we are. So me, here, my heart, I'm okay. Just as I behave badly with others, others behave badly with me. Okay, unfortunately that's the way of the human being interaction. Why do they do that? Out of misunderstanding, ignorance. Some are naturally angrier or more aggressive, prejudiced, and some are just confused. Couldn't help it. Okay. It's not that you understand what I've just said in one moment, one day, but you have to look at it more. This is a process. And as I see myself more in my own heart, as I see the behavior of others more and get an idea of that, and know that I've behaved in a way in different times, and then I can start to say, well, what am I holding on to? It appears to be a grudge, resentment, even anger. It doesn't support me. It seems to dominate my thoughts at times. Now I can have self-compassion to myself because earlier with empathy I understand and I won't repeat. So therefore, though I have been naughty, bad Paul in the past, I understand it, I won't go there again. Okay, I don't need to carry the guilt for the rest of my life. Okay. Keep asking for forgiveness. So that's the self-compassion. But here now, I flip it to others who just do things that ain't cool. Too downright destructive and so on. So I need to be able to find in me the loving heart, the heart that doesn't see really who I am. No one can touch, hurt, abuse that. I've got to look, find my own heart, feel it. Need to understand the way people are. Unfortunately, there's also good people there, and many have helped me, hence my gratitude aspect. Then, okay, instead of resentment, I choose compassion. Why? Because really, no one could do such a thing to me and be actually a happy, well-adjusted individual. There are things that are off. Maybe they're working on it, maybe they've done a lot of work since, I don't know, but given the scenario that I'm playing out in my mind, they have a lot of stuff going on. Okay, I can see that. Unfortunately, I was in the line of fire. Either due to being born into it, or I stepped into it myself, or made me step into it. So, anyway, I choose compassion. Just because I choose compassion doesn't mean, bang, I have it figured out and it'll work today. Nope. It'll take a bit of time. So I need to get at this every day. And it's a process. Over months, years, you change the texture of your heart. So, with that, and in other aspects of your life, then you can just simply ask for help. Oh, please help me. Please help me open this heart. Understand. Be free. Be clear. Let go of resentment. Have compassion. Have greater understanding. Help me to uplift myself. Help me to do this practice every morning. Why can't I? What's the problem? Where am I stuck? Please help me see, understand, give me that inner clarity, strength. Anyway, spend another minute or two tapped into that yourself. So each time you hear that gecko, what she was really saying was, help me, help me, help me, please. The last part of that is a please. I'll be with that for another minute. This part alone is really a surrender, it's really a trust, because, I can kind of assume, I can kind of enjoy the idea, I can guess with it, maybe I feel something that, there's another entity people call higher, called divine, spirit. Some forces seem to impact me that's beyond the calculable, tangible realm, be they manifest or subtle. Okay, so here's the trust. It's not that I have to go believing in some deity, which many teachings in the modern, and I say modern, I even mean over the last 1,000 years, form of approaching yoga have gotten very deistic. And really, if you get into that, that's fine, but it's not necessary. It's not what the heart of the teaching was really about. You need to get in deep to yourself. I don't know how this works. I don't know what's next. I don't know what's tomorrow. I don't know how it'll all turn out. Relax, trust. Ask for help, make it simple, relax, trust. Have tolerance with patience, and patience to aid tolerance. Tolerate that, especially in the current times, I don't know when this will open, or that will change, or what will happen. So why do I get all upset about it inside? I don't need to be. Accept, trust. That doesn't mean ignore action that needs to be taken. On the contrary, accept, trust means take care of what must be done. Just keeping that for yourself, and because this is recorded, you can always tune back in through this process again. Well, we begin with a little bit of breath to affect the physiology, clear the mind, and then we get into almost the non-breath to be in a good mental state, chitta prasadanam, and from there, perfect. Nirodha practice, contemplation through the heart. Some of it is a self-analysis, self-reflection, gratitude, forgiveness. You might call that swadhyaya. And the last part, open, ask for help, you might call that an Ishvara pranidhana. So from the breath as the tapas, to the self-reflection as the swadhyaya, to trust in, open, ask for help, Ishvara pranidhana. They're in already, just with our little sitting this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are, this time right now is already a clear engagement in Kriya Yoga. And of course, you can do more with the breath, you can do more with the body, or you can spend more time inside analyzing the heart, reflecting, more time opening up, trusting, whole combination. Then you can let it all subside and get into just watching the space. Space. Quiet. Calm. So we describe all this under teachings from Patanjali, whoever that may have been. And we do see it is dominated by a calmness, an unforced aspect. So the culmination even of pranayama is your breath, unforced, minimal, but you've trained it before to be regular, smooth. Now you get into these pauses, the ayama part. If you misunderstand that, you might just call it yama of prana, restrain the prana. So Hatha Yoga says kumbhaka, it says we will hold the breath for certain phases, because that does achieve something physiologically. And we come back here into this meditative state, It's more of a bhavana. And in time, through all this process, work with the breath. How you manage it, to how you be in it, to how you look at the contents of the mind and of the heart, and self-reflect, and ask for help. In this ongoing process, and you might do some of the extra energy exercises, and you continue with this, and you put in a bit of time each day, and after a while, let's see, what's that, 20 years? 30 years? Anyway, after a while, there is quite an inner shift. You'll notice along the way those shifts. But when we really start talking about meditation, there's quite a shift that has been developed over time. Just as you might look at a sibling or even a child of yours that is now 20 or 30 years old, and you go, wow, how they developed, nurtured over time. Similarly, nurture yourself internally. Now just have one very soft, smooth Om. Take a nice little inhale. Actually, let's have 3. Another little inhale. And one more. And you can just bring your palms up, give them a rub. Put them over your eyes. Look into nothing. Then massage those palms over the face. Best facial you'll ever get. Charged, blessed hands. Face, along your neck, along the arms, chest, off. And then if you want to sit there continuing with the eyes closed, go ahead. I have to open my eyes. Whoa. Coming back. So then you sort of notice that, taking in of phenomena, sensory input and so on many levels. You could have your eyes closed. Still you might be picking up sounds. But that mind might still be moving a lot or less. So this is what? Coming to yourself, which is always there. And so when we do this, we see nothing, though you might say, oh, I see little stars, this and that, but yeah, it still is sensory to a certain degree, but to nothing. And the Om means nothing. Like, what does it translate as? Nothing. Not that it even means nothing, it just has no meaning. So it's pure bass sound vibration. So it's something, but it's nothing, if you're following me right there. In other words, it has some stimulus input origin to a certain degree. That's why it's associated with all that this is not. So hence you say, oh, nothing. And then you can go into different teachings on what is all of this. You know, for me today, getting out of bed, doing stuff that has a value, I need it. But in terms of me looking into who I really am, none of this is anything. It's nothing, okay? one day I will depart from this video game. And then, the bits and pieces, the ones and zeros that make up this form, just disintegrate back into the original code. Okay? So these are things, again, I can't figure that out. So of course you self-reflect, look at that, what is this? What's my nature? Who am I? What is all this about? And if so, why am I so caught up in the game and the drama of the game, and then I get angry at the game, and I get angry at other elements, natures, people that we call them in the game? Why? Why do I consume myself with that? When all these teachings say, hey, consume yourself with figuring out, what is this? What is this? What is that? What's that breath? What are those thoughts? What are those emotions? Why is this going on? And in there, in the middle of that, you can find actually peace, you can find space, openness, but you have to process it because there's a lot of baggage, there's stuff. You can get calm moments and be thankful, happy, but that doesn't mean you've sorted it out, because sit for longer and you'll see stuff come up. It's unprocessed. Which is why our practices follow a mixture, sorting out the body, which in some ways takes care of some of those previous insults, either self-inflicted or from others. The breath for sure, okay, because it's a whole cascade of activity from the mental realm through the entire body. And then looking in on the psychological aspect, of which most of the yogic teachings, that you're going to find in work like Patanjali's, etc., really address that. And they don't ignore the breath of the body. You use that, and then Hatha Yoga is sort of a field of expertise to employ that as part of this process. So be comfortable to have a mixture of techniques where you look at contemplatively, you work with energy aspects, you tap in, refine your breath, you use the breath. And of course you work with the body and so on. And is that an effort and attention in that mixture over time, and that mixture is going to shift over time, that has the impact. And then just look at yourself. So, there was I never look at my Facebook, I shouldn't tell you that, but I did yesterday, and I found a question there from weeks ago, so excuse me. But it was actually in relation to the practice we just did. And I mentioned and referred to compassion. So, this questioner, and I've forgotten who even asked it, excuse me. So Paul, could you delve deeper into this compassion practice, in particular how to move from compassion to self-compassion, and how to use it in situations and with people that trigger us on the spot, and often due to situations that keep building up and or repeat themselves, so that annoyance is already there. Thank you. Okay, so there's a few issues here. Self-compassion and compassion. Okay. Slightly different approaches. Then there's a request how to use it in the moment. Situations, especially people that trigger it, and how to work with it over the longer term. See? So, I think this is an excellent question. It's actually not a question, it's a whole topic or field of self-reflection, questioning, introspection. First thing I'd like to point out is that if you really want to get a handle on this, solve it, apply it in your life, it's not sorted out because of what I'll say now, or that you just did one practice, what we did the last half hour. So the way to answer your question is for you to follow the techniques that I just gave and to do them regularly. See? Now, part of your question is the quick fix. What do I do when somebody's annoying me? unless compassion is really well established in your heart, you're not going to be that cool. You are going to be triggered, irritated, and then there's not compassion at that exact moment, you see. There's probably confusion. And this morning you started off wanting to be compassionate, and now you're annoyed, but you're confused and you're biting your tongue. So, the real answer is, of course, this is cultivated over time. Heart opens, and there's a degree of understanding descends, you see, as opposed to, like, figure that one out, check the box, now, oh, I'm compassionate. Obviously that would be robotic, mechanical, but at the same time you need to approach it as a conscious subject matter and to look into. So, to be quite honest, if somebody's triggering you at the moment, that's where it's not so much compassion, it's more like immediate physiological responses come in, and the Yoga Sutra is quite clear, you know, pratipaksha bhavanam, which says apply the antidote. If you're bad to get angry, this or that, okay, you're going to have the awareness to catch yourself at that moment. You say that the entire theme of practice from yoga, and you'll see it across the Sankhya teaching, is viveka kyatihi, right? Which basically means to have that clear discrimination, discernment, to see. Now, you build that through the 8 limbs. Okay, so that's a life. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, those 4 alone. And to make asana, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama work, you need to apply viveka kyatihi. So you build the discriminative discernment, clarity, through the limbs, yet to make the limbs come together and work, you need to apply that degree of awareness, that discernment. You see how circular it is? And again, if you're having a hard time understanding me, fortunately this is recorded and you just play it back to yourself later. But if you ask me, this is phenomenally important, crucial. So I need to, just in a simple sense, you know, somebody's really bothering me, I'm getting angry, I might even, I have anger instead of, maybe it's the same person I'm resentful to, I get sick of, right? Sound familiar? So, they're triggering me again, they're bothering me. Oh no, I'm compassionate, I'll be okay. No, all that's fake. Okay, it's not working because it's not deep, it's not grounded, it's not rooted well enough. First I spot it. Pratipaksha bhavanam will tell you apply the opposite. Okay, so the opposite might be walk away, silent, hold on, pause, maybe try to understand. You know, you have to be at another level to be able to even just do that. But applying the viveka kyatihi, the clear light of discrimination, pure knowledge, wisdom, on this we'll start to see that I'm getting agitated, I'm getting bothered inside, I actually want to respond in whatever way I usually end up responding. Oh, it's not compassion. So just to see that alone is great. Apply the opposite. Okay, let me do that. It's too much for me, so walk away. Figure it out later. Process it. But the art to listen and to even talk things through solves a lot. And then on my own time, reflection, to greater understand the different behaviors, and for me to see those. As a result of that degree, heightened degree of understanding, you could say compassion is in place. Yeah? So this person still annoys me, and you know what? What they're saying is not really cool. In fact, it's sort of nasty. I don't need to stand there and have, oh, compassion, you poor thing. Okay, you know, sorry, you're offline, I need to remove myself. So that's a slightly different approach, but I walk away not with that person pisses me off. I walk away with, okay, They still haven't solved this. They still haven't worked on themselves. Unfortunately, nothing I do seems to help them, especially if they're close to you. You're going to have less of a chance helping them, unfortunately. It could be your parent, it could be your sibling, it could be your child, whatever it is. It could be your partner. Their degree to self-reflect, to willingly look in, change their upgrade their understanding, change the sense in the heart, will be their work, which is what we're doing ourselves. And in so doing, there's Kriya Yoga in action. So doing kleshas, the total degree of lack of understanding, total ignorance, which comes out in selfishness, prejudice, fear, all of that, they can reduce. Okay, so they may get help from different sources, and often they have to be at an emotionally distant enough space for that help to come. But they are willing to apply it. So I look at myself, that's what I've been willing to do. I've been willing to apply this, look at this, work on this in myself. Maybe I've been doing it for 5 years, and then I go home and all the triggers are there. And I realize, whoops, because you're too close to the fire at that stage, so it takes time. It takes a lot of time. I probably had to pass over 15 years of it, and I mean continuously looking at it, working on it before being in that the closest, hottest fire, that kind of home family situation, for it not to be triggered. And so then you can be in whatever situation and say, okay, the person's confused, the person's whatever, without really judging, but compassion is okay. I wish them well. I wish they could figure this out. I wish I could help. Or I don't carry anger, resentment. So, it is an ongoing building process, and then what I do in the moment, which is part of your question, will add to it, right? But I can't expect, if compassion is not well cultivated, it's not going to be there at a trigger in a flash. So, maybe you want to tattoo, like people like to do, on your arm, Viveka Kyatihi, I've got to build this degree of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, discrimination, to see things. And that is developed through the practice of the limbs, and I mainly practice the first 4 limbs. Pratyahara starts to arise. I can almost start to sense it, and then when that has really gone deep enough, you start getting into degrees of this dharana. And it's a whole other stage of development to get into then the dhyana, and again even samadhi. So this is really important, right? How I look at myself, how I work on myself is the viveka kyatihi. When I'm in a difficult situation, apply the antidote, which is pratipaksha bhavanam in Sanskrit, which is antidote means the cure, the opposite. Be calm, walk away. Instead of lashing out, doesn't mean, if I was going to hit them, I would hug them. Of course, that is one approach, but it might just mean, I would walk away. I would take in a breath. I would take a long exhale. And even Patanjali says it himself, if you can't have the fully developed compassion and loving kindness and so on, then exhale out and hold it, which is how we started this little meditative session. So, this is a really important and fascinating topic, and it needs your full attention, because you can do lots of body stuff, poses, cool poses, and not solve this. Okay? However, of course, doing those poses or doing those breaths can be an aid into solving this. They can pull you into a path willing to reflect on this. You have to be careful of self-delusion, And I meet many people who are like, well, especially men, tell me, well, I'm fine, I don't have any issues, I have no problems. You're fine till it's not fine. You've no issues, problems, because you haven't actually looked at them. It's classic. It's like, I know where I'm going because I didn't look at the map and I didn't ask for directions. Or, no, the car's working fine because I haven't bothered to give it a check. Nah, the company's fine. I haven't really bothered to analyze and keep an eye on all the key aspects. See? So, this is self-delusion. It's fine till it's not fine. So, practically all the people I know, I hope all, are good, nice people. But many of those good, nice people tell me, well, I'm fine. And then you're not fine. Something goes off, something goes wrong, and then why me, and what's all that about? And it's their fault. They did that. No, why should I have compassion? They're like assholes, what they just did. Anger, resentment, etc. But I'm fine. So really, I haven't looked at this properly, I haven't looked in, and there's no time better than now, now to get in and look and do and continue, because I can guarantee you what's happening now in 2020 is not going away. It's not that the virus is not going away, it is the pace, the shake, the vibration, the being forced into difficult situations, whether you wanted to or not. They're just going to have to look at things. And maybe the few of you watching this live right now are already looking at things. But maybe in 50 years somebody's going to listen to this. And it'll still be valid because it was valid 50 years ago and it was valid 5,000 years ago. That's the thing. This is the human conundrum. So, I wish you well with that. To cultivate compassion because of your willingness to not just say, I'm fine, and I hope you are fine, but that's not enough. Look in, go in, work on yourself. Sample, work with, get into the different array of practices and build a practice. Yeah, and I know very, 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 very few that do that properly and do it well because people have stopped at, practice is my asana thing. And I've tried a few breath things and I sit there watching my breath and so on. Okay? This is playing around. So you've got to go in, Shraddha. That's what it meant. And Shraddha comes up in Buddhist teachings, comes up in the yogic teaching. Take it on. Okay? So, it's not that you've been asked to do anything extra or anything more or reserve all this extra time. It's like, here it is. You've got this precious time that you carve out for yourself, ideally in the morning, before you get into other things. Phone is not important. Email is not important now. Only a child in need is the only important thing ahead of this. Okay? Or maybe a partner in need. Okay? Somebody in need. So, basically, signing off, wishing you a compassionate life through cultivating it over time. Good. So I'll be on with a short practice on Monday, and Richard and Mary are off on Wednesday. Are they here? But next Friday we'll do, the three of us will do a great discussion together and talk about their upcoming book as well. Okay? So, goodbye.